All right, it's time for our spooky season TBR. Hello, and welcome to another round of Bless Your Heart TBR. Let's go ahead and talk about the books I was supposed to read. This is the stack plus the Spite House, and I have to say I did not complete the stack. I did read some Desperate Glory. I did not read Truly Devious. I read The God in the Gumiho. I did not read The Night Ends with Fire, and I have barely started A Tide of Black Steel. This I can somewhat explain away in the fact that Dragon Age has a chokehold on my life, and with the announcement of the Veil Guard, I have let Dragon Age take over my life again. And so I've been focused on writing. If you guys don't know, I do write fan fiction. I am trying to finish up a story for Hawk and Anders at this time, mainly because one of my friends has told me they want to read it. So I'm trying to finish it before we get there, before she gets there. And basically, yeah, Dragon Age has taken over my life. It releases October 31st, so I am hoping to get some reading done before that time. I think November might be a loss as far as reading goes because I will have the Veil Guard and I will not want to do anything else. So let's go ahead and play Bless Your Heart round 2.
Okay, so I have obviously already played the game and done my roles here, but I'm just going to say that didn't go to plan. And I do need to do a little bit of housekeeping beforehand because I have some buddy reads to talk about. Also, check out my Thug Life Sanderson sister shirt. I am a hocus pocus girly through and through. Yeah, so it didn't quite go to plan, and I will have to wrangle the kiddo into helping me a little bit because one of his favorite parts of this game is about to come up multiple times. So here we go. So for what I am currently reading before we get into the game, I am reading Bloom by Delilah S. Dawson. This is a horror novella and it's sapphic, but I have been dying to get into this. I've only got like 2 chapters in. I sat down to read it and then I get distracted. That is the story of my life. I'm also reading No Port in a Storm. I've been reading that one for a while, but I will still be reading A Tide of Black Steel. I feel really bad for dropping the ball on this specific arc because I got sidetracked. There's about one thing that can trump Anthony Ryan for me, and that's Dragon Age. And they announced the new game, and it left my brain, and I feel really bad. Really, really bad. And then the buddy reads that are going to be coming up. We are going to start doing series reads on my Patreon, and this is the series we will be starting, The War of Lost Hearts by Carissa Broadbent, the first book being Daughter of No Worlds. I'm very excited about this because I have read Carissa Broadbent already and love her writing. I absolutely loved the Crowns of Nyaxia series. I still want to get to Six Scorched Roses. That's on my radar for this month as well. But I'm very excited to start a new series by her. And this is about a slave that flees into the hands of people who have magic, if I remember correctly. That's all I know. It's all I really need to know. All I actually really need to know is Carissa Broadbent. And then the other book that we will be buddy reading on my Discord, and you guys are welcome to join over there, especially if you're Dragon Age fans, because we will be reading through To Winter Nights in anticipation for the release of the Veil Guard at the end of the month. So I'm planning to go through this slowly to highlight, to see if now that new information has been shared about the game, we can pick up a little bit more from the stories, because I read this as an arc. I had it long before any of my fandom friends did, and then by the time they read it, I was like still excited, but I had read it already. Now, a lot of it has left my brain and the Veil Guard approaches. So I'm very, very excited for this. All right, hopefully I've got this in frame. I can't see it very well and it keeps wanting to move on me, so sorry. Here is the board as we left it last time. So I do have to add another draw because I didn't finish my TBR. I would like to get those books back onto the TBR if I can, but we'll see how it goes, all right? Kiddo is over here helping me, just like last time, and I'm going to draw the color, he's going to draw the card. Yellow. Move forward 12. Oh, you forgot to take my other yellow out of home. Okay, let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, red is going to be a horror novel. Our first draw got us a horror, and I am so happy to have my friend Tessa's horror novella to showcase here, because I was supposed to do a whole video for you guys, and then I got really sick and was not able to do it on release day. She told me don't worry about it, and I was still pretty upset, but very, very happy to have a horror novella from one of my favorite people in the world. And I don't remember exactly what this is about, but I do think it is about a haunted dress, and I'm pretty excited about this. Okay, that was number 1. Let's go for number 2, green. Oh, sorry. Oh, dang. Who am I gonna bump? Okay, let's grab a green and I will bump my yellow. This does mean that we have another TBR jar pick. Now, the way the rules are supposed to go, because I bumped a yellow, it has to be a fantasy pick, and I haven't separated them yet, but the chances of getting a fantasy pick are pretty high, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Okay, and then we got a TBR jar pick, but it has to be fantasy. So Joseph's going to do his thing again until we get a fantasy pick. Should be fairly quickly, should be fairly easy, because most of the books I read are fantasy. Once you pick like 5 that are not.
The Collective.
Nope, that's a murder mystery.
All the Hidden Paths.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so this is the second book to A Strange and Stubborn Endurance. I have been dying to read this for quite some time, so I'm very, very excited about this pick. The first one immediately had me wishing that all fantasy romances were written like this. And at the time, they weren't. And then a flood just started to come in of fantasy romance written in that kind of vein. And I've been so happy ever since then. So it is on my TBR cart, so I will grab it before we wrap up so I can hold it up. All right, and number 3, blue. Okay, I can move from start or move forward 2. So let's go forward 2, 1, 2. That is going to be a book off of my 24 books I want to read in 2024, but it also means to draw again. Oh, I don't like this. Oh. Okay, let's get yellow back in. No, I can't bump yellow with yellow. Let's bump yellow over there and put blue out. All right, the next draw was a TBR jar pick. Yay. So Joseph has my TBR jar. He's going to give it a shake, and then he's going to pick a book. He's keeping me honest over here, guys. Oh, well, there's like 5.
The Caillou Preservation Society.
Okay, the Kaiju Preservation Society. So I don't have high hopes of loving this, and the reason being is because there is humor in this, and I'm not the biggest fan of humor. However, I did purchase the audio, so I will add it to the list. It's like I said, it's not one that I'm super excited for, but I do hope I like it. I did buy it hoping I would like it. I never buy books hoping that I won't. Oh, that was the double pick, wasn't it? So I also have to read one of the books that was on my 24 books to read in 2024, and I have chosen Guns of the Dawn by Adrian Tchaikovsky. Now, Again, I've read Adrian Tchaikovsky before and didn't love Adrian Tchaikovsky's writing, but I've heard Guns of the Dawn is going to be completely up my alley. I'm going to really enjoy it. It's a fast-paced fantasy as opposed to a slow-paced sci-fi. And I just want to get into more of his stuff. I do think he's an author that I could enjoy. Okay, what should be our fourth draw, but is now our fifth. Oh my gosh, this is gonna mean I have 7 books on my TBR. Okay, let's green 11 or change places. So I think I'm just gonna go 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can you move me? That's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we are staying in the horror genre. Kiddos decided to stick around. The next draw that we had was another horror, and I picked Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. This is a horror novel written or set in IKEA, and I think it's going to be fun. I also know it's short. And I know me, again, this month, I'm going to be focused on Dragon Age, like I said. So I'm trying to add a little bit shorter books to the list, especially since I still have the arc of The Tide of Black Steel that I haven't read. But very, very excited for this. Okay, and number, is it 6 now? Red. Move forward 7 or split between 2 pawns. Let's see, what do I want to do? Let's move green home. How many is that? Or to the safe zone? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then 1, 2. Okay, so I am going to have to pick a book with an odd number of pages, ending on an odd number of pages. Now with a prompt that was a lot harder to fulfill than I thought it was going to be. But I had to find a book that ended on an odd page count, and Dreadful Company by Vivian Shaw. This is on my spooky season TBR, so I'm pretty pumped for this. How long did it take you to find one that had an odd page count? I think the look says it all. But this is really cool. This is about Greta Van Helsing. She is, I believe, the granddaughter of Van Helsing, and she's a doctor to the undead. But these are set, this one is set in Paris. But they are really fun and really interesting. I loved Strange Practice, so I'm very excited to continue. A new book in the series has come out, so I just want to get back to them. They're fun and interesting reads, so yeah. Technically, draw number 7. Here we go. Green. Crap. Okay, so let's move green all the way to the safe zone. 1, 2, 3, 4. Was that 4?
Yeah.
Okay. So 5, 6, 7. Let's move the blue one. That lands me on a dark fantasy pick. Whoop, whoop. So dark fantasy, I'm going to finally pick up Godblind by Anna Stevens. This has been on my TBR for so long, and I really want to get through more of my dark fantasy at TBR. You guys have seen that as well. I'll link it down below. But this says, bathed in blood, ruled by anger, banished thousands of years ago, the time has come for the veil between worlds to be broken and for the red gods to unleash their fury. I feel like I've read that many, many times. Okay, so here is my TBR for October. This is a little intimidating. I don't know how I feel about this. And then the Kaiju Preservation Society and Tessa's novella could be added to this. My arm is starting to shake. That's how heavy this is. But I do feel like it's a doable TBR so long as I can stay on top of it and not stress myself out. And then, you know, of course, the board added more books to the list than what I wanted. But hey, it is what it is. All right, that's it for my video today. Like, subscribe, do all the fun things. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.